In this video, we're going to be talking about prophecies and or quote parallels. And the problem with parallels and prophecies is that many or all of these can be interpreted after the fact. The Bible was put together in 400 CE, and the New Testament, when it started getting written, the Old Testament was already in circulation and available, and it had been around for like 400 years or so. And so I don't know the exact time that it had been around, but it had been around for long enough that the New Testament writers understood and knew all of the prophecies and things that had to be fulfilled, or that, they could pick a verse and make a prophecy out of it. But anyway, it's kind of hard to just generalize. So let's look at a couple of these prophecies and see, what's actually going on. There's a lot of prophecies or supposed prophecies. So this article here has 55 Old Testament prophecies. This one has 351 Old Testament prophecies. And so I just looked at a few, but one is Isaiah 7:14, where there's something about a virgin birth. And there's some debate about what they even meant. So the problem with the virgin birth story is that there's two words used. So Alma means young woman, and it can mean virgin, but it does not exclude virgin. But there is Bethula, which explicitly means virgin. So they used Alma. So if they really wanted to signal that they're talking about a virgin, why wouldn't they use the word that explicitly means that? So this opens up questions and doubt of whether or not this prophecy is actually fulfilled. And another thing is that it actually has apparently or supposedly has nothing to do with the Messiah. This kid is just a marker of time, and the prophecy is fulfilled in the next chapter. So this one is debatable. And then there's other vague prophecies, like in Exodus 12:46. All it's saying is, do not break any bones when you're doing a sacrifice. And then that is somehow a prophecy that gets fulfilled in John 19:33 through 36, when Jesus' sacrifice happens on the cross and none of his bones are broken. This isn't like an explicit, this is just a vague description of how to do animal sacrifices. And so somehow it's a prophecy fulfillment. I am not convinced. I think it's vague. It could, easily written after the fact. It's not like it is a divine prophecy, in my opinion. And then there's another one for this prophecy of the 70 weeks. And it's making a prediction on like when Jesus is coming or something like that. So something about the Messiah coming soon, and the timing was so perfect that it had to be a divine prophecy. And so I would agree with that. If this was actually written 400 years, like whenever Daniel 9 was written, and it makes the prediction, that would be a solid prophecy. Unfortunately, part of the problem is that the start date of the 70 weeks is extremely unclear. The key is in Daniel 9:25. Clearly dating the start to the decree to restore and build Jerusalem. So, is it the first decree in the first year of his reign, or the second decree by Darius, or a third decree? Or there's a fourth decree? So we don't know. Apologists apparently insist the third, but only because it appears to line up relatively well with Jesus' presumed date. Yet the decree, I believe this is the decree that they're mentioning, actually mentions nothing about building anything. So you can take a look at this if you want, this post here. But ultimately, it is not a settled divine score or divine prophecy, like in how the other thing that we did, like with the appearances, how Pastor Ed gave it an 80 out of 100. Well, this one does not deserve a 100 out of 100 score. It based on 4 different decrees, and then the third one being the only one that matches, and the fact that they don't even talk about building anything in that decree, I would give this prophecy like maybe a 60 or a 70. And that's me personally, but even if you're being generous, let's say it's an 80. This is again a B. And so the all-powerful God can only make prophecies that have a B quality. That's not good enough for a divine, perfect, all-powerful God. And so prophecies don't really work either. At least not the big ones that I've been told are, divine revelations that God exists.